Hello, everyone, and welcome to Total Space's coverage of Rocket Lab's launch today of Catch Me If You Can. So, for everybody tuning in today, thank you very much for joining us. Feel free to say hello in the chat. I've got all chat messages over to my left here, so if you want to say anything, I'll be able to see it over here. Let's talk about today's launch with Rocket Lab. I think everybody is looking forward to seeing that Sikorsky S92 catch that booster today. And let's just hope it all goes down well. Last time we saw they made an attempt, the pilot experienced some kind of load anomaly and decided to cut the booster. So hopefully this time we will see them land it perfectly. So hey, we've got some people here already. Hello, Space Nessie. Hello, Sabalch. Thank you very much for joining us. Anybody else out there today? All quiet on the space front. Hello, Anthony Man Wexford. Glad to see you here again. And Kai E, hello. And we have Mr. Producer saying hello in the chat as well. That's great. That's great. So, today, we're going to be launching from LC1B at Mahia, New Zealand. So, we should be seeing some views from there fairly soon. Roughly, at last time we checked, I think we're about half an hour out from the launch window. So, I think within, I think T minus 18 minutes is our next platform there. That's going to be for the go no go poll. So at T minus 18, we will hear then to see whether it's actually going. I've just heard from Mr. Producer they have pushed by 15 minutes, so that might be delayed. Right. Can I get my chat messages back, please? Thank you. So, who is excited to see a booster be caught tonight? I'm really loving Nessie's idea there, getting a Sikorsky S92 to lift the Orbex Prime from where it is now up to Sutherland. I would hope that between now and then that the local authorities would improve roads and transportation to get there. So, for all those who didn't know, this is going to be Rocket Lab's 32nd Electron launch overall. And it's going to be the second reusability mission of 2022. I spoke a little bit about the first attempt earlier on today when they tried to catch the booster with a Sikorsky, but the pilot experienced some kind of load error and decided to cut the rope to the booster, and it splashed down in the ocean instead. They still recovered it, though. And I was seeing earlier on today as well that they've managed to fire a refurbished Rutherford engine, actually, that they recovered from the ocean, proving that it can be used again, even if it's been in the drink. I see the Crystal Wifey in chat. Hello. Will they catch it or recover it from the drink? Actually, you know what? Let's see where chat stands on this. Can we put up a poll and see? Let's gauge chat to see who thinks it's gonna go in the drink and who thinks they're gonna catch it. I'm curious to see. Making Mr. Producer work for it today.
Is that your missus in the chat?
It is indeed. Just going to check where we are in the timeline now.
RocketLab should be going live in about 3 minutes.
Yeah, we are just waiting on Rocket Lab's official stream to go live. And then I can give you guys an accurate representation of where we roughly are in the launch time. Oh, wow. We have a clean sweep of people who think that it's going to be recovered today. Well, all very confident. How often can a carbon tank be reused? Well, I mean, when they make these things, the level of pressure that they're wrapped in, they make a pretty solid surface. I mean, I've been able to actually hands-on one of these like carbon composites, and they are very, very, very durable. So long as you're not over pressurizing them, like to crazy amounts of levels, which you would do on a destruction test anyway to find your limits. But either way, as long as you're not doing that, I would reckon they would last a fair while. And every time they recycle one of these things, they go through so many rigorous tests that they do with even the new hardware. Anyway, they put them through all the same tests. Is the shoot still sponsored by Tunnock's Tea Cakes? I like that. Okay, that Rocket Lab live stream is due to go live any moment now. And make sure I have it down a little bit here because I don't want to have some audio come through.
When RocketLab go live, I'll just have to quickly switch out to studio mode, get the stream playing, and then drop them in studio.
So, how's everybody been since we last seen each other? It's been a while since I've been on a live stream, actually.
Been in the total space dungeon under lock and key.
Yes, as Mr. Producer points out, I've been in the total space dungeon under lock and key, in the editing dungeon, editing numerous videos. Very rarely do I get a chance to be let off the leash on a live stream. Ooh. Kai, when you're speaking of the new rocket, are we talking about the Neutron by any chance? Oh, I hope you get that sorted soon, Subalt. It's no fun having no heating, especially heading into wintertime.
It is made of carbon also.
Hello, Miko. Nice to see you join us. And yes, Neutron is also made of carbon. Or carbon composite overwrap pressure vessels, I think is the full term. We have our local Finn in the house. Sorry, I think the full term is carbon composite overwrap pressure vessels. It's where they just take the carbon in threads and just wrap it around like a spool of wire. Saboch, are we talking about? Nah, hang on. Was this during the? Was that an
Yes.
investor? It was like a public announcement, wasn't it? That they had. And also, for anybody who is interested in RocketLab in general, for those who may not know, we also have a video where we sat down with Richard French, who was, let me see if I get this right, Director, Business and Space Systems. It's a very long title. But yes, it was a really interesting chat. Hosted by Ryan from the Space Update. Still waiting for the RocketLab official stream to go live. Oh, speaking of.
I was just saying that.
Yep, speak of.
Am I bleeding any audio over to you?
Hmm?
Am I bleeding any audio from RocketLab over?
I don't think so, no. Okay, here we go. So we have the stream live here now. Just waiting on them to go live. We'll see about getting some of the audio in first, just in case we're pretty much going straight away, which by the looks of this time we're at right now, I would say we're almost about ready to just straight jump into it, I think.
No, it's now at 27 minutes past instead of quarter past.
27 minutes past, okay. I'm going to have to turn you down a little bit, Mr. Producer, so people can hear you. So, whilst we're waiting on RocketLab to load up their stream, I'm going to talk a little bit about the payload that we have today. It's only one satellite being launched today on the Electron, and it's on behalf of the Swedish National Space Agency. So, let me see if I can get this right. It is the Mesospheric Airglow Aerosol Tomography and Spectroscopy Satellite, or MATS for short. And that's what's going to be launching on the Electron today. And in terms of what the mission is going to look like after liftoff, we're going to have MECO at roughly around 2 minutes 29. Stage 1 separation followed after that. Electron stage 2, Rutherford will ignite after that. We're going to have fairing separation at roughly 3 minutes into the launch. After that, we're going to be about a minute and a half before we have the stage 1 apogee, followed by the battery hot swap a few minutes after that. We're going to see the parachute deployments at roughly 7 minutes 20 seconds after liftoff. That's for stage 1. Then we're looking at the capture at about 18 minutes into the operation. So 18 minutes 44 seconds after launch, we should have the capture of the stage 1 booster. Which is what we're all here for, all rooting for. Thank you very much, Crystal Wifey, for your £5 donation. That's very, very much appreciated. So what do we think is up with the delay, chat? Do we think it might be weather? Do we think they might just be pushing back for other reasons? Let's have a look and see if we can't find any information.
Something just happened in my
Yep.
from their audio.
We are live. This is LC1B in New Zealand. And there we have the mission patch. I'm just going to take a feed of this into my ear.
What was the song in the background of it? audio is going on.
With you through today's launch and recovery attempt from RocketLab's Mission Control Center. We are several hours into launch operations now, and about 20 minutes or so to launch, right at the top of today's launch window, with the T0 set for 06:27 New Zealand local time, or 15:27 UTC. We have had a clean run through the count and remain on track to launch right on time today. And today's launch includes a single satellite headed to low Earth orbit for the Swedish National Space Agency. I'll tell you more about the MATS science research mission shortly. But excitingly, today is the day we make our next attempt at catching Electron with a helicopter as it returns from space. For those of you unfamiliar with our recovery program, we are evolving Electron into the world's first reusable orbital small rocket by using a helicopter to catch Electron's first stage as it descends back to Earth after launch. Right now, our recovery helicopter is stationed over the Pacific Ocean off New Zealand's east coast, waiting for Electron's launch. And from mission control, the pilots will receive the signal from our recovery team to move in and tail the returning rocket as it descends under parachute before they make an attempt to hook onto Electron's parachute line, secure the rocket underneath the helicopter, and transport it back to land. We will have cameras on board Electron's first stage feeding us live footage of today's recovery attempt. There is also a live camera feed from the helicopter that we'll share, but we do expect some dropouts in the video footage from both the rocket and the helicopter during today's operations. If the feed freezes, don't panic, we'll bring it back up as quickly as possible, and we will stay with you on this program to bring you updates from Mission Control. We are still obviously in the test phase of our recovery program, so everything learned today is a useful step toward the ultimate goal of catching and reflying Electron. In case the catch is missed today, we have prepared to recover it from the ocean, like we have done on previous recovery missions, so we'll bring you updates on those operations too. Using a helicopter to catch a falling rocket is obviously not as simple as it sounds. It's a complex operation that requires precision, perfect timing, and for our helicopter pilots, complete calm under pressure and a steady hand.
Sabalch, to answer your question, they've not been super detailed about what they've done, only that they have made changes to well, actually, no, I do know one thing they've done. They have changed the window out in the Sikorsky for a bubble window, which allows the pilot to look right on over, or the co-pilots look right on over outside. So that's both downwards and upwards, so they can spot the rocket a bit better. Hello, Miko.
Watching the stream, so no audio coming through for you, Miko.
How about now?
Yeah.
All right, hey, Mikko is here, just audio today. Glad to be here. Very excited to watch RocketLab trying to recover the booster.
Yeah, definitely. And I think they're just literally above us right now doing a sort of play-by-play of how it's all going to go down.
Yeah, looks like it. They were just talking how the signal can cut off during the re-entry, but they should be keeping it until the catch attempt.
There it is. Special delivery.
Yeah.
No audio is going to come back on now.
to lower manufacturing
All right, we're going to go back to the
costs
stream audio
and
now.
create more launch opportunities for small satellite missions, like the one on board Electron today for the Swedish National Space Agency through OHB Sweden. Called MATS, the satellite's acronym stands for Mesospheric Air Glow Aerosol Tomography and Spectroscopy, a bit of a mouthful, and its mission is to investigate atmospheric waves above Earth to better understand how our planet's upper layer influences wind and weather patterns here on the ground. A bit like how waves in the ocean are generated in
There's a
different
really nice
ways,
view
can
there
travel
right now.
and strengthen over long distances and influence water conditions at the
Absolutely.
beach. Waves in the atmosphere can link together different parts of our climate system, and MATS is on a mission to find out more. Here's more about the satellite. and
Yes,
the
here's
teams
the
behind it.
satellite that I was speaking about a minute ago. So this is the one and only payload on this mission today.
Yeah, I think it was made in my neighboring country, Sweden.
Correct, yes. By the Swedish National Space Agency, I believe.
Very cool.
It's not a space agency, it's a spaceport in Sweden. They've got open audio in the background, so I can't put any of their audio on so far.
So from what we see in the animation here, it looks like it makes a study of the upper atmosphere and allows us to figure out what happens with the air currents further up in the atmosphere. That's a lovely shot.
Yeah.
Hey Gosky. Nice to see you get in there. Did you bring back snacks from the shop for the launch? Actually, the more important question, did you bring enough to share?
Is it ice cream and arm shakes?
Yeah, is it ice cream and arm shakes? Okay, so we're just coming up on the go no go
Coming up
poll
on the
now
go
from
no go
Rocket Lab. So
poll
let's
for
listen in.
today's mission, run from the Mission Control Center by our launch director. We will get a status update from each of the operators and whether they are tracking to time for launch. Let's listen in.
And to all operators, this is LDN Mission Code. We are proceeding now with a go/no-go sequence. Stage,
Stage is go.
avionics,
Avionics is go.
GNC,
GNC is go.
recon,
Recon is go.
T1,
T1 is go.
GC,
GC is go.
PLS,
PLS is go.
RSO,
RSO is go.
MET,
Met is go.
MM,
MM is go.
recovery,
Recovery is go.
LD sub.
LD sub is go.
The go no-go sequence is complete. We are currently T-minus 11 minutes and 24 seconds in counting. We go for the terminal count at T-minus 10 minutes, and from this time on, the freewheel hold procedure is in effect.
Awesome. Looks like we are go
Yep.
today.
Absolutely. That was a great go no go ball with go coming back from all of the departments there. So that is it
So
now
there you have it. That
until
is confirmation
about
from Mission Control
2
that
minutes
all
in when
systems
the
are healthy,
auto
and
sequence
we will be
start
proceeding
beginning.
with the remainder of the count. The T0 liftoff time remained
I'm sorry, you have
06:27
to go,
New Zealand
Savas.
local time or 15:27 UTC. Let's take a closer look now at the Electron rocket on the pad and some of the tweaks we've made to enable today's recovery attempt. Electron is a two-stage to orbit launch vehicle that stands 18 meters tall. Starting from the bottom, that's where 9 of its 3D printed Rutherford engines are located. Together, they power the first stage, the section of the rocket from the engines up to the red band you see on your screen there that indicates where the first stage is connected to the second stage. It's this first stage of Electron that we'll be attempting to recover during today's mission, while the rest of the rocket, that second stage and the kick stage carrying the payload, travels on to low Earth orbit. Now, around that interstage area, there is a reaction control system that includes tiny thrusters on the rocket's exterior that help reposition the first stage as it descends back to Earth. Packaged inside the top of the first stage also are 2 parachutes to slow down the first stage for the recovery attempt, the smaller drogue parachute that deploys first, and the larger main parachute that our recovery helicopter will attempt to connect with. Rounding off Electron at the top, we have the second stage with a 10th Rutherford engine. We optimize with a large exhaust nozzle for the conditions of space. And connected to the second stage is the rocket's third stage, which we call the kick stage, which has the MAT satellite attached on top. Now, this kick stage has its own little engine called the Curie engine, which is used to circularize the orbit it's deployed to before the payload is deployed itself, marking the end of the mission. Now, Electron might be considered a small rocket, but snagging a 1-ton object falling from the sky is a big ask for a helicopter, and one of the challenges for our recovery team was finding one large enough to safely catch it and bring it back to land. Our Sikorsky S-92 helicopter, though, is up to the task. It's one of the few helicopters large and reliable enough to catch a rocket mid-air. It's capable of lifting up to 5 times the weight of Electron's first stage. The Sikorsky S-92 global fleet has accumulated more than 2 million flight hours and completed more than 91,000 search and rescue missions. Its other missions have included coastal and border control, emergency response, disaster relief, and head of state transportation, and now catching rockets in the air. The helicopter flies with a crew of 3, a pilot, a co-pilot, and a rocket spotter. To complete its rocket-catching mission, the Sikorsky S-92 has been modified to include extended-range fuel tanks for open ocean flights, a capture hook on a long line to catch the parachute line attached to Electron's booster, pilot assists for recovery operations, including a bubble window to better see the returning rocket, and displays with position and direction information for the intercept, along with some other minor modifications.
There was some great information on the recovery using the helicopter.
Yeah, definitely. I've seen the bubble window that they put in the side of the Sikorsky as well to help them locate the rocket.
Imagine having a job title Rocket Spotter.
Yes, Rocket
I know,
Spotter is an
right?
awesome job title.
Yeah.
Music producer.
Yeah, from the last recovery attempt, we had quite a few good videos about it. So
To
that was
practice our rocket catching skills,
nice
we
to
have
watch.
carried out several helicopter tests and achieved
We
some
pull the
major
stream
mission
volume down a bit
milestones
until we get
on our
closer to the
road
launch,
to
Mr. Producer.
reusability. Here is the timeline.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Oh man, it's still obviously a B-roll without any audio as well. It's been
Yeah, that's right, Gotsky. It's something that I wouldn't have thought possible, to be honest. But then you actually look at the size of the Sikorsky. It's quite a beefy chopper. It really is.
Yeah, and it's definitely not the first time something has been caught from space using helicopters. I think it was the US spy satellites, the first satellites. The cameras were just deorbited and helicopters caught them in air.
Nice. So we know it's possible then.
Definitely.
film beams from spy satellites in the late 60s, I believe, early 70s.
Yeah, sounds about right. Funny thing about the mission name, I think if you saw the Twitter discussion between some user who had suggested for the last recovery attempt that it should have been Catch Me If You Can, and now Peter Beck quote tweeted it and said something like your wish has been granted or something.
That's awesome. That is awesome. It's nice to see RocketLab always down, always down for the memes.
Yeah, so if any of you have a good name for a mission, just tweet it at Peter Beck.
I promise I'll never let you go. Or never let me go. If it goes wrong, especially, the next one should be called Never Let Me Go.
Yeah.
That might be my fault. Try saying something again, Miko.
I pretty much know I have some echo because I have the stream audio here. I mean, I only enable my microphone when I'm speaking. So basically push to talk, yeah.
Yeah, I'm really needing to get another set of monitors, I think.
All right, glad to hear.
That's good. We're almost on the auto sequence now. All right, can we go to the stream audio? Because we're over to mission control now.
Stream audio's up.
AVPs are on internal power. Vehicle's fully on internal power. AFTS is green and enabled for flight.
Oxload is complete. System is in recirculation. Anti-geyser is disabled.
Stage 1, Stage 2, rest for flight.
High flow engine purge enabled. Deluge is activated.
And we are T minus 19 seconds and counting. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift off.
Beginning to pitch over.
Stage 1, propulsion, nominal.
RocketLab Launch Complex 1 and is on its way to space carrying the MAT satellite. Our rocket recovery attempt is also now officially underway. Coming up on supersonic speeds, Electron will be travelling faster than the speed of sound as it approaches its first mission milestone, maximum aerodynamic pressure. Electron's Rutherford engines will throttle down slightly to pass this pressure point, and once cleared, we should hear the call from mission control that the rocket has passed max Q.
Vehicle is supersonic.
That was a fast launch.
I know, right?
Approaching max Q. And vehicle is cleared max Q.
Stage 1,
There we go. As
propulsion,
expected,
holding nominal.
Electron has cleared that first milestone and is continuing.
Okay, so we're now going to be on the
nominally.
burn until
Electron's
2
Rutherford
minutes
engines will
29
now
when we can
throttle
have
back up
Miko on
as
first
the
stage.
mission continues on, and all looks nominal for propulsion there, with that beautiful view of LC1 below. In about a minute, we will
That's right,
reach the point
Miko's
in the
actually
launch
on
when
the first stage
Electron
right now.
separates
You're loving it,
itself.
aren't you, Miko?
Known as stage separation,
Yeah,
the
good
Rutherford
ride.
engines on the first stage will shut down for the rocket to safely separate before the engine on the second stage can fire up and carry on with the mission. The calls for these events will proceed
where's
as
the
MECO,
station?
or main engine cutoff, stage separation, and then second stage engine start. And here is when our recovery team
Stage 1
begin
propulsion
their
nominal,
countdown to
standby
the
for
helicopter
MECO in
catch
roughly
as
30
the
seconds.
first stage will begin its journey back to Earth. Standing by now, though, for those calls.
Okay, we're going to have main engine cut off shortly.
15 seconds to staging.
Entered burnout detect mode.
There we have it. Main engine cut off.
MECO confirm.
Stage
Oh,
separation
that's a nice
successful.
separation.
Stage 2 ignition.
Yep.
And as you can see, we have had
Okay,
a successful
now,
MECO and stage separation,
first stage is on its way
followed by
back
the
down.
engine on Electron's
Hopefully
second
those
stage,
Sikorsky
igniting
guys are
successfully.
feeling,
You can see that by
feeling
the
lucky
red hot
today.
glow of the Rutherford nozzle on your screen there. For recovery, the first stage is now beginning its journey back home.
Discharge
The
nominal.
trajectories for both stages are looking good
I
so
mean,
far.
I do
The next
believe
mission
they
event will
will
be fairing
they will
separation
be
on the
able to
second
catch the
stage,
rocket,
coming up in
but
just a few moments.
keeping it.
Fairing jettison succeeded.
That's the thing.
In fact, actually, there it goes. Electron's fairing has been deployed, and Matt is now exposed
Stage
to
2
space
guidance
while
is normal.
remaining attached to the rocket's second stage as it continues on the path to orbit. The vehicle is now traveling at a speed of more than 8,000 kilometers an
I think
hour,
we just saw a
with
bit
an
of a
altitude
fairing
of
deploy there.
129 kilometers. Meanwhile, Electron's first stage
Indeed we did.
continues its migration over the South Pacific Ocean. When it separated from the second stage, it was traveling at such high speed that its trajectory continued upward from the momentum. But in another minute or so, it is expected to reach the highest point of that arc, otherwise known as the apogee, and from there, descend toward the capture zone, where our recovery helicopter is ready and on standby to proceed. We should hear the call out from Mission Control, and we'll keep up that first stage camera view on your left for as long as we can.
First stage views.
Stage 2 propulsion, still nominal.
A lot of people should talk to Peter Beck.
Oh, definitely not. I mean, they will be just the second company probably to
The
reuse.
telemetry data for both stages
orbital
is on your
boosters.
screen and coming back nice and clear, showing the progress of the first stage. We're just starting to see that arc back downward as it heads towards Earth. Whereas on the right, that telemetry line is heading upward as it should, as Electron's second stage continues to orbit.
Everything looking nominal so far.
I've just dropped a lot right.
This camera view on Electron's first stage tells us a lot about how well the booster is faring on its way back to Earth. Because with the
Yeah,
speed
the
hitting
power cuts
with the
might be
stage,
a thing
hitting
in the
speeds of
winter.
up to 8 times the speed of sound, we may actually see a glow at the bottom, and that would be from plasma, which forms during the descent as a condition of a very fast atmospheric re-entry.
Yeah.
Stage 2 guidance still nominal, 200 seconds remaining.
Electron's second stage, though, continuing to orbit with propulsion firing hot and nominal. Fairly soon,
So we
Electron,
are
though, will need
now, let's
another
see,
power source for Rutherford's
about
electric pump
T+6.
cycle. We use batteries for this, but like all batteries,
we'll
they
be coming
run
up
out
on
of
the
juice
battery
after
hotspot
extended
very
use.
soon.
So Electron performs an action called the battery hot swap, where it swaps over to a new
Entry
set
battery discharge
mid-flight
nominal,
to keep the
original.
engine running for longer. Sometimes you can catch a glimpse of these battery packs falling away. So let's listen in for the call out from Mission Control and watch our screen for those battery packs.
Engine is starting to throttle down.
Hot swap successful.
Battery jettison confirmed.
Think that's a successful hot swap.
Yeah, that's what they said. I haven't seen it on the video. Did you see it on the video?
No, I was looking at the video and I didn't see them come out there.
There's that call
but,
from Mission
it might
Control.
be that the
Battery
camera
hot
just didn't
swap
catch
is
them, so it
confirmed.
wasn't at the right
The
angle.
cameras are a little bit late, but we can confirm those batteries did swap over as planned.
Okay, next up, we should have the
Thanks to
drogue deploy on
propulsion.
stage
Propulsion.
1, if it hasn't already.
HVP discharge holding nominal.
Oh, do we have chopper cam? Is this chopper cam or is this boosty cam?
As chopper cam looking down the line for the hook.
Yep, definitely the chopper.
Stage 2 guidance in terminal, 25 seconds to go.
Yep, you can see the ocean waves there in the top right corner.
Yeah.
That second engine cut off confirmed.
Seco, confirm.
Good.
Stage 3
I
separation.
remember
confirmed.
last time it was pretty difficult to comprehend how they were
transfer
catching
orbit.
the booster.
Yeah.
So better watch it carefully how it
There
happens.
we go. That's the call for SECO or second engine cutoff, and stage separation has been confirmed. That means Matt's and Electron's kick stage have commenced their first pass around Earth in its initial orbit. Around 40 minutes into
Good
this
thing I
coasting
switched the
phase, the
microphone
kick
off.
stage's
That sneeze
engine
would
will
have
light
deafened
up
everybody.
to move it into a circular orbit position where payload deployment will be performed. We'll come back to that final mission action, but while Matt's takes a cruise, we are full screen with the camera view from the helicopter as our pilots move in for the mid-air rocket catch attempt.
Okay, so between now and 8 minutes away, they reckon they're going to catch the booster. So, oh, hey, Jude, how's it going? Yep, between
the
now
main
and about
parachute
7-8 minutes
deployment
away.
and the time it would take Electron to reach the ocean, our pilots have about 10 minutes only to complete the catch. And catching a rocket with a helicopter is a tricky operation because within that time pressure, our pilots need to control the Sikorsky, balance the swing of the hook underneath while it's attached to the helicopter's line, hook it precisely to Electron's parachute line, and then secure the rocket beneath them for the journey back home. Now, right now, the mission is on track to do all of those things, but just in case, we are prepared with a nearby ship should we need to fish Electron out of the water instead today. To make sure you catch Electron gliding into view, keep your eye on the edge of the screen.
They said
where
keep
we
your eye on the
expect to
edge
see
of the
it today.
screen, but they never said which edge.
Yeah.
Just a note on the soft water splashdown I mentioned before. If we did that today, that would not be a failure for our recovery program. In fact, we've performed several of them across our missions to date, and most recently, we were able to refire a Rutherford engine that had been returned from the ocean. Right now, though, we have an anxious wait with our fingers crossed until we might see Electron again on our screen. Our rocket spotter on board the helicopter has a few more tools to help them with this task, obviously. They've got this view and the view out the window, of course, but also those display screens that plot theirs and Electron's positions with telemetry and where they might intersect for that catch attempt.
Come on.
While the Sikorsky has been positioned out here over the ocean during mission operations, it's got a range of 950 kilometers. That means it can safely capture and return Electron to land following a successful catch. And now that Electron's first stage is empty of propellant, it will weigh approximately a ton in dry weight. Our Sikorsky, though, is rated to be able to carry up to 5 times that, so we've got good margins for a catch and carry back to land.
Bet the guy on the side of the helicopter's proper leaning his head out of that bubble window going, where is it? Where is it? Where is it?
Yeah. think they are moving now because the hook is
the
going all
rope
around.
is
Back here
moving
at Mission
around, yeah.
Control, who are watching as anxiously as I am to see that Electron glide into view. Whether they've touched this mission themselves or have supported across some other functions through the business, everyone is just as invested in seeing Electron brought back to the factory. The recovery team themselves are stationed in various support locations. Some are in the Mission Control Center, others are on our recovery vessel on the ocean near the capture zone, and of course we have the helicopter pilots as part of that catch attempt too.
If I remember correct, also last time it took quite a long time before they actually caught the booster.
Yeah.
So
but it
it's
all
not
does
as fast
happen.
as SpaceX recovery. Yeah.
Yeah, it does happen pretty quick though. Like the booster will come
Yeah.
onto the shot and then it'll be
Yeah.
almost caught almost immediately. It all happens very quickly.
Yeah.
For those of you just tuning in, a quick reminder that we have had a successful first part of the mission, and the
So they
MATS
reckon they're
satellite,
going to be
as you
about
can see on
only
your
about
right-hand
3
side
more
of that
minutes
graphic,
before they
is
catch
in
it,
a
according to their
transfer
official
orbit
timeline.
on its way to its final destination.
All right.
I'm assuming that's going to deviate ever so slightly, though. This isn't exact science.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be great, Jude. Having like a camera pointing upwards from the bubble window, because they've got the bubble window now, so they should be able to do that. Everybody's waiting in suspense.
Indeed we are.
Hello again from Mission Control. We have just had an update from the pilots, and unfortunately it looks like we are not going to bring Electron home dry today,
dear.
but we do have the backup option of an ocean splashdown. We'll bring you updates on that ocean operation in the hours to come, but for now we are going to leave you with the views of Electron's kick stage as it moves through its transfer orbit on the way to payload deployment for MATS. We'll be back
Well,
for payload
there you
deployment
have
at
it,
around T
folks.
plus 50
it
minutes.
looks like
See you
the
then.
attempt wasn't attempted today. The pilot seems to have not liked the way the booster was coming down or some such perhaps. So that is it now. Hopefully we will see another attempt again in another stream going in the future. A bit disappointing, but I'm sure we'll hear more from RocketLab later on this evening or even possibly tomorrow about why they weren't able to attempt the catch. So let's keep our ears and eyes peeled for that, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. You gotta remember how many rockets SpaceX destroyed trying to recover the boosters.
Yeah.
Must have been close to 10 or even more before they actually succeeded. So RocketLab has time.
Yeah. Yeah, no, ultimately, if the pilot's looking at that booster coming down thinking, don't like the look of that, I'm not going to be able to catch that one safely, then, that's ultimately their decision. And it is better to make that decision and be safe there, because it doesn't really matter to RocketLab too much. We've already had a refire of a Rutherford that went into the ocean. So it's not hugely important for them, but it is going to be, if they can refurb a wet Rutherford engine, imagine what they could do with a dry one. As they said on Twitter, I believe.
Definitely, yeah. Yeah, thanks, Jude.
Yes, thank you, Jude, and thank you everybody who came along today. We really, really appreciate you here at Total Space. Sorry, I've kind of been away for a while. I've been really, really busy back there in the Total Space editing dungeon, getting things done in the background. So there are great things to come, I promise. And I wish I could tell you all about it just now, but sadly I cannot. But we will release things as and when we are able to. So thank you from me here today, Miko.
Yeah, thanks for watching and join us for the next stream. We'll be streaming. Bye-bye.
All right, take care, everybody. Have a nice evening.